Hey beer tubers, Ryan here, back with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me. We'll be looking at another one of Samuel Adams' small batch series beers. And this is batch one of Verloren, which is their take on a German style Gose, which is a old style of German beer. It's a wheat beer that they season, so to speak, with salt and coriander. And usually they have some kind of lactic bacteria action in there too to give it a slight tartness. We'll see if this if this particular beer has it or not. They don't mention it on the label, but they have all the ingredients listed, which is very cool. It's pretty clear. There's a little bit of that kind of typical, wheat protein kind of haze to it. A lot of carbonation coming up. Just straight golden color, bright white, about a finger ahead. Not much of a head, but good carbonation. Probably swirl up a decent head on this one. Maybe if I had a more aggressive pour, would have got a bigger head on there. But yeah, looks like a decent example of a wheat beer. Let's get that aroma. Wow, you're definitely getting the coriander, that's for sure. It has that slicey, earthy kind of lemongrass character. There's a lot of wheat. Almost has a like a citric character to it. You're getting some of that traditional Saaz hop, that Saaz hop, slight citrus note as well, along with a bit of a floral note and some of the spiciness as well. Can't say if there's really any salt in the aroma. So that'd be hard to smell that. What other malts are they using here? Yeah, maybe that Munich kind of has like a sweet toasted bread character to it. So let's dig in. Cheers. Interesting. It doesn't have the lactic character that the traditional ones have. And usually, 6%, it's actually kind of, I think, a little high for the style. Up front I get a lot of sweetness. That Munich really shines through, some of the base 2 row, so it's kind of the sweet bread character up front. And then midway through you start picking up some of those extra ingredients. And then it starts to kind of dry out, that wheat sort of comes in, you get more of that slightly citric wheat kind of character. The finish kind of lingers with the spice. I get most of the salt on the back end, it kind of leaves your mouth a little dry. The coriander tends to appear kind of midway through, adds that sort of, herbal, slight lemongrass kind of into, that kind of slight spiciness. They're using, Saaz hops, so you kind of get some of that character. Saaz blends really well with kind of what they're going for with the coriander, that kind of character. That floral note kind of comes forward, I think, the most from the Saaz hops. The salt's kind of, like I said, it's at the very end. It's not overdone, but it's not quite as prominent in, say, like the brewery's salt of the earth, where they use truffle salt in that beer, and that's very prominent. And kind of wondering what yeast they use for this, because I'm not picking up, like a German sort of strain. I'm getting actually a lot of kind of light fruit notes, like stone fruit character. So it's almost like an English ale yeast strain, or maybe they're using like an alt beer strain. But the problem is, that's sort of a hybrid sort of. They say it's an ale, so I guess technically an alt beer is an ale. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We get the little fruitiness kind of like right after that coriander towards the back end of the palate. This one though, it's just kind of, it makes it unique, but I wish it had that traditional kind of lactic sour character to it. And I didn't expect them to do that. You can use lactobacillus, and sour mash it and boil and not have to worry about infections, but I don't think they did that with this. So for me, it's missing that character to it that would make it a little more refreshing, and because it's a little too much sweetness up front, I want like more of a wheat character with it. So it's okay beer. I recommend checking it out. If you've never had an example of the style, this isn't the best, so I'm going to go with the C on this one. I think it's just kind of average drinking. I mean, it's pretty refreshing on a hot day, so that's the other thing. It is a wheat beer, so worth checking out if you've never had an example. I don't know how many craft breweries are even doing this style. It's even rare to find, you know, American breweries doing that, let alone German breweries doing that. But try to check out a traditional example where they do have a little bit of that lactose sourness to it, because I think those are more refreshing and more drinkable and have a little more character than this one. It's just they're going a different direction with this particular beer. So that's going to wrap it up. Until next time, please comment, subscribe. Cheers.